everyone, my name is Dr. Yasmin Flores, and I'm the host of the Arts at Epcc. Welcome back, everybody, and today I have another special guest with me. Her name is Hinojosa, and she is from the Mass Communications Department. Hello and welcome. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing very good, Alex. It's wonderful to have you in here. I have 10,000 questions about your department, because I'm from the other side of the building, and so I never walk over there. This is EPC's fault, okay? EPCC's fault for building so many bathrooms. I have no reason to walk over there to that side of the building. So mass communication has 3 different degree plans, right? Tell me a little bit about the 3 different degree plans under Mass Comm.
So we have the journalism degree plan, the advertising and public relations degree plan, and then the broadcasting and film degree plan.
Wow, okay, all right. So that's quite a bit right there.
It's quite a bit, yeah.
And so what is your specialty?
Journalism specifically.
Okay, so everything in print,
Everything
right?
in print.
Okay,
Yes.
very good. And so Alex, what courses do you specifically teach there at EPCC?
I teach COM 1307, which is Introduction to Mass Communication, Film Appreciation, Introduction to Public Relations, and this semester, Introduction to Advertising.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, so let me ask you some questions. So you mentioned the 3 degrees. So I'm walking in and I want to be, let's say, a newscaster.
Okay.
What degree am I doing and what classes am I taking?
For newscaster or students that want to be reporters on television or anchors on television, that would fall under the broadcasting and film degree. You'll be taking classes like Introduction to Video Production and Video Production 2 and Audio Production as well.
Okay.
And in those courses, the instructors teach you Adobe Premiere and Adobe Audition, which are the softwares that the industry uses at this time.
Wow, and Adobe's difficult.
It can be.
Oh my gosh, I have a membership to Adobe, and I open it and then I close it. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I should take that class, right? So okay, and so you teach them public speaking. You teach them how to generate their own script.
Yes. So they have to, if you're going to be in that degree plan, you are required to take a writing class, a couple writing classes, but one of them that we recommend is the writing for television and radio class.
Okay.
And so it's COM 2339, and there they learn to write a script for radio, write a script for television, and write a script for film because they are not the same.
Oh, wow.
Different methods and styles.
Wow.
So they have to know how to do that.
That's really cool. So when I watch any one of these news shows, right, is it that the newscaster that's out there in the wind?
Like the weather? Okay.
Oh my goodness, that cracks me up. I'm sorry, I have to comment on that. Because sometimes it's like they find the windiest mountain, right, to make it look really dramatic. Everybody stay indoors. It's a windy day today. So are they writing their own script before they head out? Oh,
yes.
That's
Sometimes it's
interesting.
right before they actually are on camera.
Okay.
Nowadays, before they would get a pen and paper, write it down, and you can still do that. But nowadays, a lot of reporters that are out there in action actually use their cell phones. So they have their script on their cell phone, and then as they're typing it on their cell phone, they will send it to their producer or to their editor, and then the editor sees it and then hands it over to the anchor so that they know what's going on behind the scenes.
Wow.
Sometimes it's ad-libbed also, in which case there is no script.
Okay,
and they just go on it.
Okay, very interesting. Much like this interview. Hello, everyone. Okay, so see, we're practicing journalism right now. So, okay, now the other 2 degrees. If I want to go into like the Tejano Tribune, talk a little bit about the Tejano Tribune.
So Tejano Tribune is run by Dr. Carr.
Okay.
And it's an independently run newspaper. The website is, I think, tejanotribune.com, and you can find it on myepcc.com.
Okay.
Am I promoting it right, Doug?
Right.
So students can go and report stories. They generate their own stories. Photography, you have students to take pictures because you have to have that with that. Students that major in journalism are really, really, really encouraged to write for the Tejano Tribune.
Right.
Because you need to, in order to get an internship, you have to have experience.
Okay, right. That makes sense. Okay.
So in order to get that experience, we have our students, we really push them to write for the Tejano Tribune. That way they get that practice, that way they're published, and that way they've got those samples to show to a potential employer that can offer them an internship.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. So, okay, so now, let me ask you another question from the outsider's point of view. So I had a couple of students over the past few years come by my office randomly and say, I think because they're looking for a story, right?
Okay.
And we have posters up, and they see it.
Right.
They see an event, and they're like, "Oh, let's go interview this lady for our Tejano Tribune article," right?
Right.
And so, for those of us that are wanting to get the word out about an event, who do we contact at Tejano Tribune?
It would be the editor.
Okay.
I believe it's editor@tejanotribune.com.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that.
All right.
But
okay.
you can actually go to the website. So if you go to myepcc.com, there is a little icon that says newspaper or Tejano Tribune, and you can click on that.
Okay.
And then if you go to that direct website, it'll have contact us, and then that will generate a form, and it'll go to the editor.
Okay. So the epcc.edu.
Right. Or you can also contact Dr. Carr as well.
Okay, perfect. That's what I thought. Okay, so when I go upstairs, because we went on a little tour one day upstairs to the other side of the building, and there's these beautiful rooms that are padded, right? And so is that where you guys do the radio station up there, or is...
So yes.
Okay.
That's Dangerous Radio specifically, but those rooms are actually for our audio production students to do their projects.
Oh, how fun. And they're beautiful. Yeah. I was really shocked when I walked in there. I was like, why doesn't music have this? Right? Like, why
should.
Right? Like, Mass Comm has it. So, yeah, some really beautiful rooms up there. And so let's talk about the radio stations and the club. Right. So you just explained to me a moment ago, I didn't know this, you explained that essentially the radio stations that if you walk up the stairs at Via Verde, right, in the C building outside, you hear the radio playing, right? And so I've always wondered who's on the other side, like who is playing this music? Yes, that's you guys. Yeah. So you have a club, and they are responsible for 2 radio stations. Tell me a little bit about that.
So there's 2 clubs. There's the Dangerous Radio Club, and then there's EPCC Pulse Radio. What you all hear in the courtyard and outside the C building, that's EPCC Pulse Radio.
Okay.
That's run as if it were a real radio station under FCC rules and regulations that we abide by.
Oh, nice.
Right. So we play, the students run the show. They DJ it, they play the music, they do the transitions. Some of our other students that want to really push that and really become DJs in the future will actually create their own music in the studio itself.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool. And they'll also have interviews with different students, different clubs. And in some cases, they've even brought in some student musicians, which is really nice.
Yes, yeah.
Dangerous Radio, which is upstairs with the 2700 area, that is also a radio station, but it streams. So that streams online. That is strictly online only. Okay. It doesn't air on campus. And it's called Dangerous because it doesn't abide by censorship rules.
Right.
And so that's why it's called Dangerous. So
sure.
Students are free to speak as they want.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. And so, and you all have a Facebook page as well.
Yes.
I saw that. And and you can find, you did mention the icon earlier for the radio station. That's on the epcc.edu?
Yes.
As well? Okay.
Yes, yeah.
And it looks like a little radio tower.
It looks like a radio, you click on it and it'll either direct you, you click on it and it'll have 2 icons, one for Dangerous, one for Pulse.
Okay, very good, awesome. So, so that's the radio station, and your advisors, that's you and
Melissa
Aguilera.
And then for Dangerous, it's Dr. Carr also.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay, all right. And so I'm starting to get a better picture in my head of Mass Comm. So I know one of our colleagues in music works on your side of the fence as well. And I'm trying to figure, this is Billy Towns,
Billy
of
Towns,
course.
yeah.
The famous Billy Towns, right? And so what does Billy teach over there?
He teaches audio production.
Audio production, okay. And so now audio production is, which degree plan is that?
That's under the broadcast, television, and film degree plan.
Okay.
It can also fall under the journalism degree plan as well.
Okay.
And it can be a elective that a student takes in the the advertising and public relations one.
Wow, so it can fit into anything.
It can fit into anything.
Oh,
yeah,
nice. What is, you tell me what audio production is.
So audio production is where the students get to learn how to produce a radio piece or a music piece or a radio commercial piece. And that's where the instructors teach them how to use Audition and how to seamlessly do it. They learn the aspects of radio, they learn the aspects of sound production, and that's where they become better equipped. And usually we encourage our students to take audio production before they take the video production course.
Okay.
Because then they'll get a better handle on things. They can take it consecutively if they want, or at the same time. But
that makes sense. And you know, Billy has shown us portions of his films sometimes, and so that makes perfect sense. And so audio production, I guess, since I'm a musician, I can say that it's all about balancing the levels, right? To kind of break it down in layman's terms for people like myself that are not in audio production, it's balancing the levels and trying not to distort the speakers, right? And so that totally makes sense that you would take it before video, because video is going to be both, whereas audio is not both, and so that makes sense. That's awesome. So wow, and there's so much going on in mass comm. So let me kind of pull all of this together. Tejano Tribune, Dangerous Radio, Pulse Radio. You've got the audio production courses. Let's talk a little bit about your general course, the core course that anyone can take to get a taste of mass comm. What is that course called?
It's called COM 1307, Introduction to Mass Communication. It's just an overview of the different mass medias. So it's a history on mass media in general. So anybody that takes that course, which again, it can be anybody, they can go in and you get that core requirement out of the way. You get an introduction as to the history of mass comm from the written word to the oral word, and then later the fun stuff happens, which is broadcasting. We gave you the history on that and the different aspects of mass media and how it applies to the masses. There's a chapter on gaming. I wish we could do a class on gaming, but we can't.
Right.
But there's a chapter on video games and the history of video games. And then there's a chapter on film and the history of film. Very, very brief overview on film. But it really gets the students interested. And we've actually had several students that just take the class to get the requirement out of the way, and then before you know it, we have them as part of our degree plan. So.
Oh, nice!
It's a win-win.
Well, it sounds like so much fun. I mean, and I love. To me, it's very fascinating to read the history of NBC, the history of ABC, CBS, all the main, back in the 30s and 40s when they were radio shows at first, and then turned into TV, right? It's really fascinating to me. So that's really cool. So now we've talked about the program at length. Let's talk about you. What? So tell me a little bit about your background. Where are you from? Where'd you go to school? And what brought you to EPCC?
So I'm from here. I'm from El Paso.
All right.
Born and raised. Burgess High School.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. And then from there, I went and started college at McMurray University, and then transferred back over here to UTEP. And then I went and got my master's at the University of Southern California.
Nice. So, okay. Yeah. All right. Wow. And so you decided to come back.
I came back. Yes.
Yes, as we all, many of us did. And so when did you start at EPCC?
Spring of 2013.
Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't know you'd been here that long. Okay. All right. Okay. That's interesting because you also look very young. So spring of 2013. And what brought you to EPCC?
So I was a journalist at the El Paso Times at that time.
Okay. Wow.
Journalism was great, but I decided to put my master's to use. And so while I was working at the El Paso Times, I decided to take a part-time job at Epcc, kind of feel it out, see what it was like.
Yeah.
And they hired me, and I was like, great.
There you go. Awesome.
I returned to Epcc because I actually had taken some classes in high school at Epcc, and some early childhood education classes that Epcc offered when I was like 8, 9, something like that.
Oh, wow. Okay,
It was actually Introduction to Piano, so I was in the music department.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah.
And I remember as a kid loving it. It was a lot of fun. And so I thought, well, I'll go back, see if maybe.
Sure.
And they hired me, and I taught in the spring of 2013 and as part-timer, fall of 2013 as a part-timer, and a whole year and a half basically as a part-timer.
Yeah.
And then there was a position open for a full-time job, and I took it. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
So El Paso Times, and I have the last edition of the El Paso Times.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm thinking of the El Paso Herald.
Oh no.
Yeah. Okay. No, you're after that time. Never mind. Yeah, because the El Paso Herald was the one that shut down, right? And so I still have that last newspaper. So you worked for the El Paso Times, so that's awesome. And so it's great for your students because you have that hands-on experience for them, and they can ask you questions like, "How do I get a job?" So let me ask you that question: how do you get a job at the El Paso Times or
any newspaper?
Yes, yeah.
It really depends on the individual, but my path and the path that I recommend to students in general is get your degree, but while you're in school, write for a newspaper or write for a college newspaper, or go and do something within the college that gets published.
Right.
If not within the college, perhaps there's no opportunities, or it's too full or it's too competitive. Then go outside of that. Go and go to a local business. See if maybe they need some help with their public relations or with their advertising.
Right.
Get published that way. Get known that way. Get exposed in that way. And once you have that experience, see if you can find an internship, maybe over the summer, during your semester.
Right.
At a newspaper.
Right.
Or at a broadcast station.
Okay.
Because if you intern at a broadcast station and you want to go for the El Paso Times, at least you have news reporting experience. And then the writing can come after.
Sure.
If you want to do it vice versa, and you want to do an internship at a newspaper and then go to broadcast, you can do that also. So internships is what I push a lot.
Yeah. So speaking of internships, and I remember that, looking at your website and everything, there's an internship here at EPCC, right? Because I was reading up on that, and I was, like I said, I was combing through everything. I was like, okay, mass comm, trying to get a grip on everything. So tell me a little bit about what that internship is and what do they do?
So sometimes we get internship opportunities within the EPCC marketing department.
Oh, nice.
Not all the time, but sometimes. Yeah. So then the students can go and help Jim Heine over there. Other internship opportunities include the Tejano Tribune as well. So that can also be an internship opportunity.
Oh, great. That's really awesome. And one of the things that I love about this college is that it gives people the opportunity that may not, people that are coming back, right? Many that are coming back to school that may have taken a hiatus, and it gives them that opportunity. And there are a lot of opportunities here. So that's really awesome. You're Burgess. Mustangs?
Mustangs.
That's what I thought. Okay. And so, wow. So like you're like centrally located right in this area with everything here.
Yes.
So do you all do anything at the other campuses, or is your main hub Valle Verde?
The main hub is Valle Verde, but we do offer film appreciation and the Comp 1307 course at TM, Trans Mountain, and Rio Grande and Northwest and Mission Del Paso. So we're everywhere essentially, but the majority of our classes for our majors is Valle Verde.
Okay, all right, very good. So we've talked about journalism. We've talked a little bit about broadcasting. I guess maybe we could talk a little bit about advertising. And is graphic design affiliated with you guys, or is that something that's totally separate?
That's separate.
Okay.
That being said, I do encourage the students to take some graphic advertising classes.
Oh, nice.
Because
Okay.
it makes sense.
Right. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, graphic design, I know where he is because that's literally on the flip side from the music side, right?
Yeah.
By the soda machines.
Yeah, it's just below us, so it makes
Right.
sense. Yeah.
And they do some beautiful designs
They
as
do.
well. Yeah. So, okay. And so advertising, what are they learning in advertising?
So they learn the history of advertising, and then we go into project mode, which is create an advertisement. They have to also study and analyze advertisements, so
Okay.
they get that background. And then the degree plan also touches on public relations because it's advertising and public relations. So public relations is the other aspect of that, and in that class we choose the history of public relations, and then we do projects related to public relations as well.
Okay.
How to brand a message. They're both branding messages, but for different purposes, essentially.
Okay, all right. So right now we are taping in the fall of 21. That's our current taping. And I say this because you might be watching a rerun right now, and it could be like spring of 23 or something right now. But right now we're coming out of the pandemic, and that's why there's still this distance between us and everything. But so we're coming out of the pandemic. We're hoping the students come back. We're talking to parents, grandparents. If you're a great grandmother, send your kids, your nephews, your cousins, everyone to El Paso Community College. They would contact you for any kind of assistance with like the degree plans and try to understand and everything. So your email is on the MassCom website.
Yes.
That's epcc.edu/ is it MassCom? I believe so.
I believe so,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. And so it's or mass communications.
Or you can go under the main website and go under programs, and then
academics,
click on
program.
academics.
Yes, exactly. Okay, to find Ms. Hinojosa and all of her degree plans and everything else going on. So now, other things that we should know about the department, special classes that you all offer. Is there anything that you just love to teach, that you're that you're always looking forward to it?
I love teaching the film appreciation class.
Okay.
It's a fun class to teach.
Uh-huh.
And I don't get tired of the films that I show every semester.
What do you show?
So I show King Kong,
Wow.
the original.
Nice.
Bringing Up Baby.
I don't know that one.
Oh, it's a great screwball comedy. It's fantastic.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I also show, I'm trying to think, Nosferatu.
Okay.
Silent film, so that they get to know what silent film was like and different things. We do a few analysis of George Méliès, and then what other? Oh, I want to show Psycho. I keep forgetting to show Psycho, but I want to show Psycho.
That's classic. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. And so I'm thinking, so the third one that you listed, say it again.
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu. Okay. What is, so you said it's a silent film?
It's a silent film.
Okay, what era is that from the silent?
1921.
Wow. Okay. So, okay, and tell me a little bit about, I've never heard of that film.
It's Bram Stoker's Dracula is what it is.
Oh,
So there was actually a
okay.
lawsuit against the filmmaker and Bram Stoker as a result of the film being produced.
Oh,
So
interesting.
the filmmaker, F.W. Murnau, actually changed the name of Dracula to Nosferatu so that he wouldn't get sued, and then he still got sued.
Still got sued. How funny.
Yes.
That's hilarious. Okay,
Yeah.
and now I remember, and then I'm thinking of, is it Vincent Price? Why am I thinking of Vincent Price?
Let me stop you there. We got 5 minutes, so I was trying to pick the right time to cut you off.
Sure.
You're doing great.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you tell us right now. You got 5 minutes. What else you can ask Ms. Hinojosa, Dr. Flores?
Okay.
We'll wait for you. You tell us.
Okay. I was still going. I was going to go up until the 1 minute mark.
Let them know that you got the 5 minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Marco. I got the 5 minutes. I'm sorry about that.
See, that's the problem right now. Communication. I don't have communication with the people in there, so I was afraid that you were just gonna go and you know, or that you probably were thinking that we're running out of time. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Okay, so yeah, so saying that we're still rolling. Look at Miss Hinojosa and continue.
Okay. Okay. All right. So tell me a little bit about the third movie that you just listed. That was the
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu. Okay. Tell me a little bit about that because I've never heard of that.
So it's a silent film by F.W. Murnau. It's basically Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Okay.
I show that film to showcase the Gothic film style.
Okay.
So.
All right. And so the little I know this much about film.
Okay.
So I know film noir. And so film noir, when did film noir start? You don't know. It's okay. It's okay. All I know, here's what I know. I'll tell you a funny story very briefly. I lived in Iowa. I had a TV. Everybody's running around like crazy because there was a tornado that particular night that literally ripped the roof off of the courthouse in Iowa City. I didn't care.
Okay.
Because I'd never been through a tornado before, so I just thought everybody was just overreacting over the alarms. And so I thought, cheers. I sat down and watched Sunset Boulevard, which is to me one of the greatest movies of all time. I love it so much. And film noir, and I got it. I understood the title, the genre, film noir, because it was like, first of all, the style of the 1950s was to always start backwards.
Yes.
Right? And so the guy's dead.
Right.
He's dead in the pool, and he's the narrator, and he's sitting there saying, there I am, this is what happened. And then they go, backwards back in time.
Yeah.
And so now you're saying the Gothic era.
Right. It's called German Expressionism, which
Okay.
actually happened after World War I.
Okay.
And actually took the inspiration from German Expressionism from the art form.
Okay.
Yeah. So film noir actually takes some aspects, well, actually quite a bit of aspects from German Expressionism. Dark, alleys, fog. There's always a bad guy, suspicion, all that stuff.
Okay.
But the difference between the two is that German Expressionism has awkward angles, uneasy characters that are uncomfortable to look at.
Oh,
so that's
interesting.
That's where they get that.
Okay, that's very interesting. So yeah, you know what I'm thinking of? Robert Stack in Unsolved Mysteries. They always had him like walking down some dark alley, right?
Yeah.
And there's just there's fog all over the place, and so he'd announce the next murder, right?
Yeah.
And so
I always tell my students German Expressionism is basically Tim Burton, that style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so wow, so there's 1,000 more things that we could discuss, Alex, and so I want to thank you for coming on the show today, for telling us a little bit about mass comm, and we're going to have the website for you, everybody, and all the information, the degree plan for you, showing throughout the show. Thank you so much. We know where to find you at Via Verde, right? And you can also look her up, Alex Hinojosa Fur. On the epcc.edu search button, and you can get more information from her and also the website. Alex, thank you. Until next time. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely.